After few weeks, tomorrow is Ryan's birthday. It has been a month since Jungkook has been planning everything for a grand birthday party. This is her first birthday since their marriage, and he wants to make it special for her. After the incident at their home, he thought that she would regret her decision to marry him. But that did not happen, and she said that when she accepted his proposal, she also accepted his dangerous mafia world. Jungkook had decided that day that he would protect Ryan even if he had to sacrifice his life. All the guards he sent to Dungan were killed. Someone mixed poison in their food and killed them all. He knows that his own man is constantly betraying him. He hired all the new guards and tightened the security. He does not let her out without his two trusted bodyguards. Her safety is number one priority. There was a knock on the office door. Come in. Sebastian came in with an envelope in his hand. Jungkook asked about the envelope. Someone sent it for you, sir. And who sent it? Jungkook raised his eyebrow and asked him. I don't know, sir. The receptionist called and said that a courier had arrived and left it for you. Confused, Jungkook took the envelope from him. You can go, he said to Sebastian. Sebastian bowed and left the office, leaving Jungkook alone. Jungkook opened the envelope and found a CD. He put it aside and took out the pictures. His eyes widened at the sight of the pictures, and soon anger heated his blood. He got up from his chair with a jerk, which caused the chair to hit the wall behind him. No, that's not true. It can't be. His inner voice tried to convince him. He quickly put the CD in his laptop and played it. In the video, he saw Ryan with his most dangerous enemy, Albert. He turned up the volume to listen to the conversation. You did a great job, Ryan, Albert said, looking at some files. It wasn't a difficult task for me, he said. He was really smart. But how did that idiot get caught in my trap? I didn't do anything and he fell in love with me and he made things easier for me, Ryan said. Did not he suspect you when you stole his files? His voice was crooked and his eyebrows were drawn together in a frown. No, he's crazy for me. I lied and he believed me. Albert chuckled. I don't think you should break his heart, Albert said, smirking. I never loved him. There is only one person in my heart, and that is you. I didn't want to marry that scum, but you forced me to do so. I will kill him soon, then you will be mine forever. Do it quickly. I can't stay with him even for a second, said Ryan. Don't worry. I almost got what I wanted. I need your help to attack his palace. I want to kill him in his own territory. His voice turned sour. Okay, but I want you to do something with his guards. They stick to me like a glue all the time. I can't even come here to meet you. Her voice sounded faintly annoyed. Oh, my darling. Albert got up from his chair and walked over to Ryan. He placed his arms on chair before he crouched down to her eye level. I will take care of them, but I want something in return, said Albert, smirking. Oh, my naughty boy. She hugged his neck and welcomed his warm kiss with eager lips. They even had an Albert office, and Jungkook did not have the courage to see it. He sat rigid for one long moment, the blood throbbing in his temple. He picked up his phone and dialed Taeyang's number with trembling hands. Taeyang answered the call on the fourth ring, and before he could say anything, Jungkook gave the order. Come to my office in 5 minutes, hurry up. He pulled the seat back into place and sat down. His heart was pounding inside his chest, but he still believed that it was all fake. His wife cannot betray him. The door opened and Taeyang came in. What happened? Taeyang asked in confusion. Take them and have them tested by an expert. I want to know if they all are 100% real or has someone edited them. Jungkook handed him the CD and pictures. Taeyang was about to check pictures when Jungkook stopped him. No, Taeyang, please go out and check them. Don't look at them in front of me. Jungkook said in an almost broken voice. Jungkook, is everything alright? Taeyang asked. His features grew more worried. Go and check them out. You will know what I am feeling at the moment. And I need result by evening. Taeyang saw his friend's condition and sighed. He left the office with the CD and picture in his hand. It is evening and Jungkook is eagerly awaiting the results. His head was resting on a chair and his eyes were closed. He has been praying for the result to be fake since morning. Hearing the sound of the door opening, he immediately opened his eyes and looked at the door and found Taeyang. What are the results? Jungkook asked impatiently. Taeyang heaved a sigh and looked at Jungkook hesitantly. Promise me that you will not take any wrong step without thinking. Taeyang said. Fucking answer me what the result is. Jungkook stood up and shouted. Taeyang looked down and said in a low voice, both CD and picture are real. The ground slipped under Jungkook's feet. He never thought he would be betrayed by the woman he trusted the most. Leave, Jungkook said, looking into space. Taeyang looked at his friend worryingly and tried to make him understand. Jungkook don't do anything. I told you to get out of here. Jungkook shouted, throwing everything off the table. Jungkook, you are not thinking straight. Please don't do anything right now. Jungkook looked at Taeyang with his clenched jaw and bloodshot eye. Leave me alone, and if anyone finds out, I will kill you. Jungkook said in a low warning tone. Taeyang opened his mouth to say something again when Jungkook stopped him by raising his hand. Not even Jimin, and get out of here now, said Jungkook, pulling out a cigarette and a lighter from the drawer. He quit smoking after marriage, but for now, this is the only thing that can calm him down. Taeyang quietly walked to the door and left. Jungkook was smoking and looking at the empty wall. A lot of things were running inside his head. I never believed in love, but when I fell in love with someone, look what I got in return. He thought sarcastically. She betrayed me. I loved her from the bottom of my heart, but she has been fucking my enemy behind my back. Lonely tear fell from his eye. It is true that today he feels as if someone has crushed his heart into million pieces. His trust in love is completely gone. He loved her because she was different, but today she proved that he did not misunderstand her in their first meeting when he thought of her as a whore. She said she did not love me. She made fun of my feeling. She made a fool of me by pretending to be innocent. He thought, no, I will not let her think that she has made a fool of me. I will show her that I was right to consider her a whore. She betrayed me and she will be punished, and in my world, the punishment of betrayal is death. Today is Vian's birthday and she is so excited. Jungkook did not return home last night, nor did he answer the call. She became even more upset when she did not find him at home in the morning. She called Taeyang and asked about Jungkook, who said Jungkook was busy, probably busy preparing for her birthday party. Jungkook did not come home all day, and in the evening, Sebastian came and told her that he had come to fetch her, as his boss has ordered. He gave her the bags of clothes and jewelry. She quickly got ready and left with Sebastian. When they reached the place, she saw a building. Ma'am, the boss is waiting for you inside. Sebastian informed her. It's my birthday, won't you come too? Vian asked, and Sebastian's eye widened. How did you know? It was a surprise, Sebastian asked in shock. Vian chuckled, looking at his face. I have my ways, she said, tilting her head slightly, and Sebastian smiled. I will come too, but right now it's you who must enter. Okay, but come back later, said Vian and got out of car. She climbed the stairs to the main entrance of the building and found the guards holding the handle. Shall we open, madam? They asked, and Vian nodded, smiling. They smiled and opened the door for her. She entered, but there was only darkness. She took another step when the hall suddenly lit up and everyone said together, Happy birthday, Vian. She knew that he had arranged a party to celebrate her birthday, but she did not know that he would do so much. The hall was beautifully decorated with balloons, flowers, and colorful curtains. He invited everyone, including his business partner and employees. Jennifer and Anna approached Vian and congratulated her. Vian's eyes roamed around the hall in search of the man she had been longing to see and found him standing in the middle of the hall with Taeyang and Jimin. Jennifer and Anna take her hand and walk towards the man they love. Happy birthday, Vian. Jimin wished and hugged her with a smile. Thanks. Vian thanked him. Happy birthday. Taeyang said in a neutral tone, to which Vian thanked him. She looked at Jungkook and waited for him to wish her, but he said nothing and he stood there with a serious face. Vian felt a little sad. Want to wish your wife a happy birthday? Anna asked with a knitted brows. I have all night to wish her after this party, and I have a lot of plans for tonight. Everyone, except Tayang, smiled because they thought he was getting romantic. But Tayang knew the meaning behind his words. Vian blushed and looked at the floor. Soon the party started, and Vian cut the cake. She fed it to Jungkook, who smiled and fed her a piece of cake in return. Vian was relieved to see him smile. They all cheered for Vian and gave her presents. Everyone except Jungkook gave her gifts. When his business partner asked him about the gift, he said he would give her a gift that he could not give in front of everyone. And they all smiled teasingly. Now it was the time to dance. Jungkook took Vian to the dance floor and started dancing with the rhythm of the music. You turned 23 today, am I right? Jungkook asked. Yes, said Vian, nodding her head. Are you happy? Jungkook asked. Of course I am happy. I did not think you would work so hard just for my birthday. Vian pointed to the preparations. It's nothing. A big surprise is yet to come, Jungkook said. Really? Another surprise? Vian asked in shock. Remember, I said I would give you a gift after the party. That gift will be the biggest surprise of your life. Vian wrapped her arms around his waist and hugged him. Thanks, Jungkook. I love you so much. Do you really love me? Jungkook asked. Vian pulled away and looked at Jungkook's face in confusion. Do you have any doubts? Vian raised her eyebrow and asked. I was teasing you. A smile touched the corner of his mouth and his eyes warmed. Relief brought a smile to her lips. I want you to always remember that I love you so much. Liar. A voice came from inside as his smile faded and his expression became stern. And I have a surprise for you too, said Vian looking down. What is it? Jungkook asked. He raised an eyebrow in the only sign of confusion. Be patient, Avi. I will tell you after the party. Vian wrapped her arm around his neck and said, Okay then, you go to your friend. I want to talk to my business partners. Vian nodded and started walking towards her friend. Looking at you two, I want to get married now, Anna said and let out a sigh. Then go and marry him. You can finish your study after marriage, said Jennifer. Maybe you are right. I should go and talk to him. Anna did not wait a moment and ran towards Jimin. What did you just do? Ryan asked as he approached Jennifer. I helped my friend, Jennifer said, shrugging her shoulder, and Ryan scoffed. Tell me, are you excited about the plans Jungkook was talking about? Jennifer asked with a smirk, and Ryan slapped her arm. Don't hit the pregnant lady, Jennifer said sternly. I don't want your child to be annoyed like you, said Ryan. Don't worry, I don't want my baby to be like me either. I want him to be like the young, handsome, angry bird, Jennifer said and started laughing. Ryan cracked a smile, shaking her head. They were talking when Ryan suddenly got a call from Jungkook. She looked around and could not find him, so she picked up the phone. Hello? The driver is waiting outside with the car. Get the car key from the driver and come back home. Taeyang and Jimin will take care of the cats. Okay. Ryan answered softly and hung up. Who was that? Jennifer asked. Jungkook called me. He told me to come home, so I must go now, said Ryan and looked at Jennifer, who looked lost. What happened? Ryan asked, placing a hand on her shoulder. Nothing. I just started to feel weird, like something is going to happen. I don't know what's going on, but my heart is feeling weird. Maybe it's because of your pregnancy, Ryan said. Yes, maybe. But wait, I will tell Taeyang to take you home. Jennifer was about to call Taeyang when Ryan stopped her. No need. The driver is waiting for me outside, Ryan said. Ryan, I am feeling restless. It's not because of my pregnancy. I think something bad is going to happen. Jennifer's voice quavered. Nothing bad will happen from today. My good days are about to start from today. I have got all the happiness of my life. I consider myself the luckiest girl on this earth. Today, I am really happy. I have something to tell you. I will come to your house tomorrow, said Ryan. Her heart was brimming over with happiness. Are you sure? Jennifer asked uncertainly. Don't worry, Jenny, because she paused and put her head under her stomach. her eyes kindled with the happiness, and she whispered, "This night is going to be the best night of my life." Ryan is driving home. She still doesn't know why Jungkook told her to drive. The driver could have taken her home, but she just shrugged off the thought and a smile flashed across her face, thinking she is going to tell him a good news. She can't wait to see how he will react when she will tell that he is going to be a father. He has told Ryan several times this month about his love for children and that he can't wait to start a family with her. God knows how she kept her mouth shut. It was very difficult for her to keep it a secret for so many days. Her morning sickness was worse. He tried to take her to the doctor several times, but each time she made some excuse. The road was empty. She was scared while driving on the empty dark road. But then she started thinking about Jungkook, and every fear flew out of the window. She was smiling while focusing on the road when suddenly a car came from somewhere and hit her car. In excitement, she forgot to fasten her seatbelt. Her car did not overturn, but she was badly injured. She was moaning in pain, but before she could move, someone opened the door of her car. The man pulled her out from the car completely and threw her there on the ground. She groaned because of the pain. She saw so many cars were present there, and a smirk immediately appeared on her face. She thought that their enemies attacked her, but everyone knows that Jungkook never loses. He will protect his wife no matter what. But this time, fate was not on her favor. She saw a blurred vision of a tall figure was approaching her slowly when she was trying to collect all of her controls and mind power. But next moment, her eyes became wide open, even though the blood was above her eyes, which was coming from the floor. She lost all of her herself when she saw someone whom she never expected to see here. Jungkook, Ryan murmured. The moment she saw him standing in front of her, she did not want to believe it. Her mind was on a high level of confusion. "Surprised to see me?" he asked with a wide smile playing on his lips. He was not looking like a person whom she loves. "Jungkook, you?" she asked, but her words were not in her favor. They again came out in a whisper. "Yes, I am," he said with a proud smirk on his face. She tried to stand up, but groaned when a pain shot up on her entire body. When she finally managed to stand up in front of him, she let out only one word. "Why?" she asked painfully. The tears came without warning. Jungkook's proud smirk instantly replaced to a cold expression, and the next moment he slapped her hard on her face that she fell down on the ground with the impact of the force. Jungkook knelt down and grabbed her chin tightly to make her face him. "Now you remember something, wifey?" he asked her with his clenched jaw. "How dare you touch me, bastard?" How can she forget the first day they met when she slapped the world's most dangerous mafia boss? He grabbed her arm and pulled her to stand on her feet. "I was not wrong that day when I thought you are a whore and tried to have a one night stand with you. But what did you do? You slapped me and acted as if no one was born pure in this world except you." "What?" Ryan asked, not understanding what he was trying to say. "What do you think you can fool Jungkook?" Jungkook rolled over her face. She took a few steps back in fear. "What are you trying to say?" Ryan asked, frightened to see his intense eye that was just screaming anger. "You dared to slap me that day. Now, I will show you what I do with whores like you." Ryan felt as if soul had left her body. Only one word was echoing in her head: "Betrayal." "Have you ever loved?" Ryan asked with tears in her eyes. Her heart is hurting because of the pain he is inflicting on her. Jungkook started laughing and clapping his hand. Ryan was shocked to see his deadly side of him. By now she understood that this was not a prank. It was all real. Meanwhile, Sebastian was calling Kayang, but he was not answering. Sebastian is on the scene with his boss. He is standing far away. He did not know that his boss had planned this for his wife. He knows that only one person can stop him, and that is Taeyang. "Hello?" Taeyang finally answered the call. "Sir, something unexpected is happening. Please come here and save madam, otherwise the boss will kill her," Sebastian said quickly in one breath. "Are you talking about Ryan?" Taeyang asked. "Yes," said Sebastian, and heard a curse from the other line. "Tell me the place and hurry up." Taeyang shouted, and Sebastian quickly told him where he was with Jungkook. I will get there as soon as possible, but Sebastian, you need to save her. Do anything but don't let her die. Taeyang said and hung up. Sebastian looked at his boss, who was laughing and clapping. Sebastian still does not know why his boss is doing this with a pure soul like his wife. Everyone thought he really loved his wife, but in the end, he showed his true colors. Jungkook stopped laughing and pointed his index finger at Vian. You should be an actress. Vian was staring at him blankly. Jungkook grabbed her shoulder and muttered angrily, Stop your drama now. I know everything about you, who you are and what you are doing behind my back. What are you talking about? Vian asked confused. God, you are so pathetic. I thought you were just a whore, but you also turned out to be a great actress. I think he taught you well. Vian yanked his hand away from her shoulder and screamed, What are you talking about? Jungkook angrily slapped her again. Vian staggered, but did not fall this time. Cold dizzy fingers suddenly grabbed Vian by the chin and jerked her head forward. You are a whore to me, whom I used to fuck every night. You thought you could fool me and do your dirty business behind my back? But sadly, your game is over, he said and pushed her back roughly. Jungkook, please tell me it's all a lie and you love me. Vian stepped forward, grabbed his hand, and pleaded with teary eyes. I don't love you. Girls like you are not worthy of love. Jungkook yanked her hand away and said bitterly, Girls like me? Vian knitted her brows in confusion. Have you never loved me? Vian asked, and Jungkook scoffed. Like you ever did, Jungkook thought. You call yourself an eye reader. Now tell me what you see in my eyes. Jungkook asked, looking straight into her eyes. Vian looked into his eyes and saw only one thing, and that was hate. What did you see? Jungkook asked, tilting his head slightly. Hate. Vian whispered and looked at the ground. Absolutely. I hate you, and as I said before, you're just a whore to me. She jerked her head up and looked at him with tears were gushing down her eyes. No, you are lying. I always see love in your eyes. Please, Jungkook, tell me what happened. Why are you doing this? Can't you stop your drama now? I have already said I know everything about you. Jungkook said angrily, giving her a death glare. What do you know about me? There were tears on her face, and her breathing was shallow and ragged. Jungkook leaned closer to her ear and whispered, You are a whore who was backstabbing me. Vian felt as if the ground had slipped under her feet. Her body became numb. Her brain stopped functioning. She thought that today would be the best day of her life, but it turned out to be a horrible day. She loathed this day. If it had been in her hand, she would have made this day disappear from her life forever. Today, she had got the biggest betrayal of her life, and that too from the person she loved so much. Today is your birthday, darling. He glanced at his wristwatch. There are still 25 minutes left until the start of the new day, and I have not given you your birthday present, so why don't we make it quick, huh? He snaked his left arm on her waist, and from his right hand he pulled out his gun. He placed the gun between her eyes. Any last wish, wifey? Vian's vision was blurry from tears. She could not believe the man who is pointing his gun on her is none other than her husband. I was just like a whore to me. He never loved me. He played with my emotion. What do I have left to live? Giving him my virginity make me a whore in his eyes? Then I should not keep anything related to him in my womb, she thought. She did not say anything. Instead, she grabbed his hand, pointed the gun toward her stomach. Jungkook's stomach widened. He leaned closer to her face and kissed her forehead for the last time. I hate you, Jungkook. You have betrayed me, and I will never forgive you for that. As if his love, Vian's body jolted up, and she clenched on his shirt tightly. She closed her eyes tightly because of the pain, but soon she felt the blood between her thighs. She looked down and smiled weakly before leaning against his ear and whispered softly, You killed our baby. With that said, she let go of his shirt and limply fell down on the ground. But the shock on his face did not go unnoticed by her before the darkness envelops her. Jungkook's point of view. I was stunned to hear her last words. I was frozen in my place, and my wide eyes were looking at her body, which was covered in blood till now. My hands were shaking incessantly. Blood was coming out of her abdomen while she was lying unconscious on the ground. She was pregnant with my baby. No. I don't even know if the baby was mine or not. I'm sure this would be that bastard's baby. She was fucking behind my back. Sebastian, I called his name and he came running toward me. Yes, boss, he bowed. Put her in the car and throw the car down the hill, I commanded. And Sebastian jerked his head up in shock and looked at me. I know, he was close to Ryan as my friend, but he still doesn't know how dangerous the snake he was. Boss, do what I told you. I grated my teeth and muttered, looking at him sternly. Sebastian sighed and leaned down, took her body in his arm, and then gave me one last glance before heading for the car. Till yesterday, I hate to see a man near her, and today my man is carrying her, and I am not feeling anything. Maybe my love for her died with her. Sebastian put her body in the driver's seat and closed the door. He turned around and looked at me again, hoping I might change my mind. But not today. I gestured to him. He sighed and called the other men. They all gathered around the car and started dragging toward the side of the hill. When they reached the edge of the hill, this time they all looked at me with sad faces, as if they did not want me to do that to Vian. They are feeling sad because they do not know anything about her. I signaled them again without any emotion on my face. They looked down for a second and then pushed the car. I heard the car go down fast, and then I heard the sound of water splashing, which means the car has fallen into the lake. I felt pain in my heart, and my hand went to my chest to press it, where my heart was pounding. It would have been her best night if she had not betrayed me, but everything was ruined. There were tears in my eyes, and I quickly made my way to my car. I don't want anyone to see me in this situation. She never loved me, but I always loved her, and killing her was the hardest decision I ever made. I started the car and left without telling Sebastian what to do next. All I need now is loneliness. End of Jungkook's point of view. As Jungkook left, Sebastian ran down the hill and shouted, "Find the madam quickly!" All the cars turned on the flashlight of their mobile phone and went to the lake to get Ryan out of the car, where the car was half submerged in water. Sir, she is not in the car. Sebastian was shocked for a few seconds and shouted again, "Look for madam everywhere. Her body must have fallen somewhere." All the guards started looking for her like crazy. They all liked her kind nature. They were all cursing their boss internally when he was hurting her. "Sebastian!" They all heard someone screaming from above. They all looked up and found Jimin and Taeyang standing on the edge of the hill. "Sir, please come down," Sebastian shouted back. Taeyang and Jimin came down quickly and Sebastian told them what Jungkook did to Ryan, and now they are finding her. Taeyang and Jimin were shocked at first to hear what Jungkook had done to Ryan, and without wasting any more time, they, along with the rest of the guards, began searching for Ryan. They were all searching when Jimin found a body near a tree branch. "Taeyang, I have found her," Jimin called Taeyang. Taeyang ran up to him and saw that Ryan was in a very bad condition. Her whole body was covered with blood and mud. They still do not know if she is alive. Taeyang hurried forward, took her in his arms, and began to walk briskly up towards the road. They all came back to the road, and Taeyang ran to his car. Jimin sat down in the driver's seat, and Taeyang sat on the back with Ryan in his lap. Taeyang did not check Ryan's pulse because he did not want to lose hope of her survival. Jimin drove fast. It was night, but the traffic was still heavy. His men put their car in front of him and started clearing the road for Jimin. Taeyang was pressing her bound to stop the bleeding. There were tears in his eyes. He knows that she has battered them, but he still thinks she's not like this and can't batter them. That's why he told Jungkook not to take any action so that he could investigate further, but Jungkook did what he wanted. They arrived at the hospital 15 minutes later. Taeyang took Ryan in his arms and ran inside. "Doctor, doctor!" The nurses came and took her to the operation room. Taeyang and Jimin were waiting outside the room, praying to God to save her life. The next day had already begun. They were both silent and lost in thought as Sebastian approached them. "Sir, the boss has ordered me to send reporter to the scene. He wants to show this as an accident," Sebastian said, and both Jimin and Taeyang clenched their jaw and fists. "Don't do that now," Taeyang muttered. "All right, sir," said Sebastian, leaning against the wall, waiting for the doctor to come out and tell them about Ryan's condition. After 2 hours, the doctor came out with a sad look on his face. He removed the mask from his face and looked at them. "How is she?" Jimin asked impatiently. "She had already lost a lot of blood when you brought her here." It was really difficult for us to save her, but fortunately she is alive now. The three men let out a sigh and felt calm, but they again turned their attention to the doctor to hear what he was going to say. She is in coma due to a severe head injury. Taeyang sat down in a chair with his elbow resting on his knee and his face on his palm. Will she wake up from the coma? Jimin asked. It is unlikely that she will wake up from the coma, and it is possible that she will not remember anything when she wakes up. She won't remember anything when she wakes up. Sebastian repeated the doctor's word, still not convinced that what he had heard was true. I can't say for sure because sometimes patients who get a head injury and stay in coma for a long time lose their memory. But the patients regain their memories over time. Jimin and Sebastian breathed a sigh of relief as Taeyang stared into space without any emotion on his face. Did you know she was pregnant? Doctor's word hit them like a thunderbolt. Taeyang turned his head towards Jimin, who was staring at him in shock. None of them knew about her pregnancy. Looking at your facial expression, I can say that you did not know about it. I'm sorry to say that. She has lost her baby, the doctor said, and Jimin could not control his anger and slammed his fist on the nearby wall. There's another thing I want to tell you, the doctor said in a hesitating, piteous voice. What? Taeyang asked, his voice cracking as he fought back tears. The doctor took a deep breath before dropping the bomb on everyone. The gunshot has made her infertile. She can never get pregnant again. Jimin and Taeyang were lying on the couch in the hospital's VIP room when the door flung open, startling them both. They turned their head towards the door and found the distraught Sebastian looking for something. What happened? Taeyang asked worriedly, sitting upright on the couch. Sebastian did not answer. He saw the TV remote placed on the table. He picked up the remote, quickly turned on the TV, and played a random news channel. Jungkook's wife, Choi Wyan, had an accident last night. Her car fell down the hills into the lake. Police have pulled her car out of the water, but a search for her body is still ongoing. Blood-stained and torn pieces of cloth have been found in some place, but nothing is known about her yet. We tried to contact Mr. Jeon, but we were told that he could not speak to anyone at this time, as he is grabbed by the news of his wife's death. The screen showed how the police were investigating. The cameraman was clicking pictures of every wire of the car. There were do not cross taps around the area. Reporters were busy covering the scene, standing outside the do not cross taps. Yesterday was June Swayan's birthday, and on the same day, this accident happened to her. She had been married to Jeon Jungkook for only 3 months. This is the tragic news of the day. Stay tuned to our channel for more information. Sebastian turned off the TV and looked at Taeyang and Jimin, who were sitting there with their jaws clenched. How did the media get this news? Taeyang asked through his clenched teeth. Everything happened by the boss. He even sent his men to clean all the blood from the road so that no one would suspect. He is also bribing the officers. They were not actually trying, they were just pretending to search for the body. In the end, they will declare her as dead and close the file. Jimin closed his eyes to calm his anger. He never thought in his life that his friend would stoop so low. Taeyang suddenly stood up and started walking towards the door. Jimin ran after him and blocked his way. Where are you going? Jimin asked, confusion crossing his face. To meet their buster. His face was livid, the veins standing out of his neck. This is not the right time. We have to take care of Ryan. Let him do what he wants. He pointed to the bed where Ryan was lying unconscious with many wires attached to her body. Taeyang ignored Jimin's word and looked at Ryan for the last time before leaving the hospital room. Jungkook's mansion. Jungkook was sitting on the couch with empty bottles of alcohol scattered on the floor. The main door opened and he saw Taeyang coming toward him angrily. Taeyang approached Jungkook and grabbed him by the collar, lifted him up and begins to punch him. You bastard, why did you do that? Jungkook defended himself from his next punch and punched Taeyang hard, causing Taeyang to stumble back. You are still asking me why I did that? Jungkook spoke calmly. You should not have done that without full evidence. Taeyang was fuming with indignation. We had those photos and video checked, and then what should I have waited for? For them to come here and kill me? She was a whore and I did what she deserved. His anger suddenly erupted into furious shouting. She did not deserve to die, Jungkook. We could have used her against Albert or got information from her, but you should not have killed her. Stay within your limit and don't tell me what I have to done. Then why become a fussy and making it an accent? Why don't you tell everyone that you killed your own wife? Taeyang's tone was not as loud as before, but near a snarl. I don't want to tarnish my image because of that hoe. In a few months, everyone will forget about it, and then I will marry a girl to have my own hair. Taeyang shot a disgusted look at Jungkook. You have become a monster. You are a murderer. You are only ruining the lives of others. Jungkook looked at him and burst into the peals of laughter. If I am the murderer and I ruin other people's lives, then who are you, Taeyang? Are not you a monster too? Jungkook raised his eyebrow. A smirk flickered at the corner of his mouth. Taeyang's fist clenched slowly until his knuckles were white. Have you forgotten how many people you killed or how many lives you ruined? You never showed mercy on anyone. Now you are rebelling against me for the treacherous bitch. No, don't tell me that she was fucking you behind my back too. Don't you dare, Jungkook. His voice rose to a bellow. She was like a sister to me, Taeyang said, and Jungkook suddenly burst out of laughing. A sister? Really? He asked, chuckling. Then why did you suggest to me the idea of ruining your sister's life the day she slapped me? Taeyang's face contorted with rage, and his eyes blackened. I told you before that I was thinking as a friend, but now I am proud to say that what she did was right. A man like you deserved it. He stepped forward and said, poking his index finger on Jungkook's chest. If I am a monster, you are not a saint either, because the mafia can never be a saint. Mafia? The color drained from Taeyang's face as he recognized the owner's voice. He turned to look at the front door, where he saw Jennifer standing with her father, and there was a look of shock on her face. Jennifer came out of her shock and approached them with the tense Mr. Smith behind her. She stopped at a distance from them and looked at Jungkook. Who are you two? Jennifer asked, tears welling up in her eyes. Jungkook looked at Taeyang, who shook his head slightly and pleaded with his eyes not to tell us the truth. But Jungkook just smirked, and his gaze finally shifted to Jennifer. We are in the mafia. What? Jennifer stammered. There's another thing you don't know yet, and that is Jungkook looked at Taeyang again, who was now looking at him in confusion, not knowing what he was about to say. Leo never left you. He was killed. Taeyang's eyes widened, and he stepped forward to stop him from saying the next word. But by then, it was too late. And the killer was your husband, Kim Taeyang. Flashback. Taeyang was drinking wine in the bar. Jimin wanted to accompany him, but Taeyang did not bring him because he wanted to be alone. But he still did not know why he was feeling so strange. So you are getting married tomorrow, dude. A voice reached his ear. He turned his head to the right and saw some boys talking to each other. Yes, after such a long wait, I am finally getting married to her tomorrow. Taeyang looked carefully at the man's face and recognized that it was Jennifer's fiance, Leon. Taeyang felt jealous and he did not even know why he was jealous of Leon. He simply ignored them and started drinking. Dude, do you remember your promise? Yeah, I remember. We are going to Paris for our honeymoon. I will give her drugs and then you can do whatever you want with her. Taeyang sighed pardon and he snapped his head toward them. She's so hot. I wonder how she will look under us, said Leon's friend. I will tell you about it after our wedding night, Leon said, and his friends started laughing. She used to be very hot in college day. I really wanted to, but that fish never caught in my net, Leon's friend said, pouting his lips. I only want her body. Our fathers knew each other, so we became friends. If it were not for her friend Vian, she would have agreed to have sex with me. But they say that the fruit of patience is sweet. So now look, tomorrow I will marry her and after that I can do whatever I want with her. I will give you all the only opportunity to fill the desire because after all, she will be my wife and I have to take care of her owner. Leon said smirking and his friends chuckled. Taeyang could not control himself. He put the glass on the counter, got up from his stool, and walked towards them. Is this the way you should talk to your friends about your future wife? Taeyang asked angrily. Hey dude, get out of here and don't interfere in our business, said Leon's other friend. I'm not talking to you. Taeyang pointed his finger toward the boy and muttered angrily, I can do whatever I want. You just take care of your business, Leon said. Her father is my business partner, and I will not let anyone talk dirty about his daughter, Taeyang said. Come on, if you want to, you can join us, Leon said, laughing with his friends. Taeyang could not stand it any longer, so he punched him. Leon fell down from the stool. Taeyang hovered over his body and began to punch him. A friend of Leon set a bottle of wine at the back of Taeyang's head. Taeyang fell on the other side. Leon and his friend took advantage of the situation and ran out of the bar. Taeyang was drunk and very furious. He just wanted to kill the bastard who had bad intention about Jennifer. He stood up and ran after them. After running for minutes, they reached a point where there was no way to escape, just a wall in front of them. I can talk about her any way I want because I am her fiance. Tomorrow I will marry her, fuck her, and let my friend fuck. Leon's word was cut off by a gunshot. Diane shot him straight in the chest. His friends trembled with fear and stepped back from Leon's body. Leon was lying in a pool of blood. Please, let us go. Leon's friend stammered. After a few seconds, Diane came back to his senses and realized what he had just done. He was drunk and not thinking straight. He saw a gun in his hand and then Leon's body lying on the ground. He ran his hand through his hair, not knowing what to do next. He killed the man Jennifer was going to marry tomorrow. What if Jennifer found out who killed him? Taeyang looked at Leon's friend, who were trembling with fear, and their eyes were fixed on Leon's dead body. Taeyang took a step toward them, and they began to step back in fear. I will leave you all if you do what I say, Taeyang said, and the boys nodded in the fear. You will not tell anyone about it. If anyone asks you, then tell them that he was with you at night and was happy. Then he went home. I will take care of the police and his body. The boys looked at each other uncertainly, but then they agreed. Taeyang let them go after threatening them so much that they would not even think of telling the truth to anyone. Taeyang buried Leon's body in a forest and set his car on fire. He felt bad for Jennifer, but he was also happy that Jennifer's life was saved from being ruined by that compatible man. End of flashback. Taeyang wondered how Jungkook found out. Jennifer was standing motionless in a place, and Mr. Smith was looking very furious at the moment. Do you think that you will try to hide something from me and I will not know? The moment you decide to marry Jennifer, I suspect you were behind Leon's disappearance, and my suspicion later turned out to be true that you were the one who crushed Jennifer's happiness. Jungkook had a smirk on his face. He was looking like a psychopath. Not only that, but your husband suggested to me the idea of destroying Ryan, Jungkook said, and Taeyang just wanted to kill him at the moment. Jennifer looked at Taeyang with tears in her eyes, and he felt a sudden pang of guilt. Why did you do all this? Jennifer asked in a cracked voice. Taeyang stepped forward and tried to grab her shoulder, but she shouted, Don't touch me. Taeyang quickly stepped back with a hurtful look on his face. I was feeling terrible last night, like something bad was going to happen. Jennifer said. You killed my friend, Jennifer said, pointing her finger to Jungkook. Then she pointed her finger to Taeyang and said, And you killed my happiness. Jenny, please listen to me just once. I could learn because. Shut up! Jennifer again shouted. Don't even say his name with your filthy mouth. Taeyang's eyes watered. He felt his heart shatter into a million pieces. You are also the cause of my friend's death. You both are monsters. You both have taken away our happiness. Her gaze then shifted to Jungkook, and she said, Dad tried to stop Ryan from marrying you, but she did not listen to him. She said that she loves you and can't live without you. But look what happened to her. You, you killed her mercilessly. She chuckled sadly as Jungkook stood with his head inside his pocket. There was no regret on his face. Jennifer cried incessantly. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. When I saw the news today, I could not believe it because she was so happy last night. She was calling herself the luckiest girl on the planet. I told Dad that my Vian is alive and with the person she loves so much. That's why I came here to show him that the news of her accident is fake and my friend is safe and alive, but the man she loved the most killed her. Taeyang could not see her in that condition and tried to go to her again, but she shook her head and backed away. No, you have lost the right to touch me, Jennifer said, and Taeyang closed his eyes as tears began to fall from his eyes. Mr. Smith stood still with tears in his eyes. Today, the lives of his two daughters are ruined, and he can do nothing. I hate you. I don't want to see your face ever again. Jennifer said to Taeyang and started walking towards the front door. Taeyang hurried towards her and hugged her from behind. Jennifer, please don't do this to me, please forgive me. Jennifer yanked his hand away and tried to walk again, but Taeyang stopped her again. Jennifer struggled in his hold and pushed him so hard that she herself lost her balance and fell to the floor before hitting her belly on the edge of the glass table. Jennifer screamed in pain. Mr. Smith and Taeyang ran over to her. Jungkook also took a step, but he quickly stopped himself and hid his emotion. Stay away from my daughter, and it's all happened because of you. Mr. Smith shouted and pushed Taeyang away from Jennifer, who was screaming in pain. She's my wife and you can't stop me. Taeyang also shouted at Mr. Smith and picked up Jennifer. He looked at Jungkook for the last time with his bloodshot eyes. Mark my words, Jungkook. I will never let any happiness come near you. Taeyang spat angrily and ran out of the house carrying Jennifer in his arms. Taeyang took Jennifer inside the hospital and called for the doctor. Sebastian was walking out of the hospital when he saw Taeyang carrying a gun. He got confused and followed him. Sebastian saw Taeyang and Mr. Smith sitting on the chairs outside the hospital room. Sebastian approached Taeyang, who was sitting with his elbows on his knees, his hands clasped and his head down. Sir, what happened? Sebastian asked worriedly. Taeyang did not answer and just kept looking down. There were tears in his eyes. This is the first time Sebastian has seen Taeyang in this condition. The doctor came out and Taeyang went to him first. How's my wife? Taeyang asked anxiously. I'm sorry to say, your wife's pregnancy ended with a miscarriage. Everything around Taeyang stopped for a moment. He felt like his world was falling apart. They lost their first child. His baby died before he could open his eyes in the world. Is she fine? Can we meet her? Mr. Smith asked. Yes, she is fine and is now conscious. You can all meet her. Taeyang did not wait a second and entered the room, but seen in front of him clenched his shirt. Jennifer was crying uncontrollably, clutching the blanket tightly around her chest. Mr. Smith also came in and walked over to Jennifer. Stop crying. Mr. Smith tried to calm her down. I lost my baby because of him, Dad, Jennifer said, crying uncontrollably. Jenny, Taeyang took a step closer to her, but she shouted, Go away, get out of my life. Taeyang's footsteps stopped there on their own. Jennifer began to cry again. The room was resounding with the sound of her crying. Taeyang wiped the tears from his face and left the room. Sebastian was standing outside the room when he saw Taeyang coming out. Sir, Sebastian called, but Taeyang ignored him and left. The next day, Jimin was sitting on the couch in Vayan's room. When the door opened and Taeyang came in, disheveled. He was looking like a half-dead man. Taeyang walked toward the couch and sat down next to Jimin. Jimin put his hand on Taeyang's shoulder and said, I'm sorry for your loss. Sebastian told me about Jennifer's miscarriage. Taeyang said nothing and stared into space with his puffy eyes. Taeyang, please tell me what happened when you went to meet Jungkook at his house. This time, Taeyang looked at Jimin and Jimin gasped when he saw his face, as if he had been crying all night. Taeyang looked away again and told Jimin about everything that happened in Jungkook's house. How can he do that to his own friend? Jimin said bitterly. I have promised him that I will not let any happiness to come near him, and his greatest happiness is. Taeyang traveled his eyes to something, and Jimin followed his gaze and saw that Taeyang was looking at Vayan. Vayan? Jimin asked vaguely. My heart says that Vayan is innocent. Someone has trapped her, and one day Jungkook will find out the truth. And we know he will go to any extent to get her back, said Taeyang, and Jimin nodded his head, agreeing with him. Then what do we do? Jimin asked. I am sending her far away from here, where she will start her new life. I will never let her come back to Jungkook's life again, Taeyang said. But how do we do that? Jimin asked in confusion. There is only one person who can help us in this situation. I have called him. He will be here at any moment. Just then the door opened and a man entered. Jimin's mouth dropped open and he got up from the couch. Taeyang smirked as the man is standing at the doorway in all his glory. Long time no see, Kevin. Kevin smiled and walked towards them. Jimin was still standing with his mouth open. Close your mouth if you don't want the fly to get inside your mouth. Kevin joked, and Jimin immediately closed his mouth. But we sent you out of the country, so Taeyang called me last night and told me everything that happened here. He asked me for help, and I can't deny my friend's request. Kevin said, cutting Jimin's word. Kevin, taking YN with you from here means declaring war against Jungkook. Right now he thinks that YN has cheated on him. But the moment he finds out the truth and that YN is alive, he will go crazy and then look for her everywhere. His first target would be Jimin or me. That's why I want to send YN with someone he can never think of, said Taeyang. Why do you think she is not a traitor? Kevin asked, glancing at YN's belt. Jimin and I have spent time with her, and we know what kind of girl she is. Jungkook knows her much better than we do, but his anger has blinded him to see anything. Taeyang said bitterly. When do you want me to take her out of this country? Kevin asked, averting his eyes from YN and now looking at Taeyang. Tonight, Taeyang said, surprising both Kevin and Jimin. Don't you think we should wait until her wound heals first? Jimin asked. No, we can't wait. I'm sure Jungkook will hire someone to keep an eye on us so that he can be informed of our every move. And I don't want him to know anything about Ryan being alive under any circumstances. Taeyang said. Jimin and Kevin nodded their head in understanding. Take her with you, give her a new identity, a new place, and a new life. Taeyang said. Trust me, I will take care of everything. Kevin said, smiling and stealing a glance at Ryan. I believe in you. That's why I am giving you this big responsibility. And yeah, one more thing. Taeyang pulled a small piece of paper and gave it to Kevin. Kevin took the paper, read the word written on it, and then looked at Taeyang in confusion. What's this? Kevin asked, raising his eyebrow. This is the medicine that causes amnesia. If she loses her memory after waking up from coma, then give her this medicine. I don't want her old memories ever to come back because her old memories will only hurt her. But she has to take this medicine regularly. If she starts skipping it, then she will start to regain her memories. Taeyang said. Are you sure about this medicine? Jimin asked, taking a page from Kevin's hand to read the name of the medicine. The doctor has prescribed me, replied Taeyang. Taeyang then looked at Kevin, whose eyes were now fixed on Bayan's unconscious form. I have got everything ready. You can go tonight. Taeyang's word took Kevin out of his trance, and he shifted his gaze towards Taeyang. Well, I will take her with me, and we will probably never meet again, Kevin said, and both collapsed into a brotherly hug. It's midnight, and Jungkook is still drinking in the club. After that day, smoking and alcohol have become his real life, but he still feels like he has a huge weight on his chest. He is now beginning to regret his decision. He should not have killed her. He thought that killing her would make things better, but things got worse. He was in his thought when he felt something moving up and down on his thighs. He looked down at his thigh and saw someone's hand grazing his thigh. Alone? A girl's voice fell on his ears. Jungkook turned his head to look at her for a moment. The girl looked no less than a stripper. She was smirking at him, but he turned his eyes away, not taking interest in her. I can make you feel good. She leaned closer to his ear and whispered sexily. He yanked her hand away, felt disgusted by her touch, but then suddenly a thought came to his mind. If I can fuck that whore, then why not this one? Thinking that, he pulled the girl close to him and attached his lips on hers. The girl moaned and started kissing him passionately. Follow me. Girl pulled away from the kiss and motioned for him to follow her. Jungkook got up from his stool and followed her. They were passing by a crowd when suddenly his eyes fell on a familiar face. His footsteps halted and his mouth was wide open as he was too shocked to see that face. That face was none other than Vian's. He tried to approach her, but because of the huge crowd, she disappeared from his sight. He was looking around for her, but she was nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, he saw her walking out of the class. He was about to run after her when the girls from before grabbed his arm. Where are you going? We have to go upstairs, said the girl. Jungkook gave a death glare before jerking her hand away and ran outside. The girl called him from behind several times, but he did not care because at that moment that familiar face is important to him. He could not believe his eyes after what he saw. He got out of the car and saw Vian driving away. He hurried to his car and followed her. Many questions were circulating in his mind, the biggest of which was how is she alive? He still does not know if it's alcohol effect or if he really saw Vian alive at the club. A few minutes later, her car stopped in front of her house and she got out. What is she doing here? Jungkook thought, looking at the house in confusion. She opened the door and went inside the house. Jungkook also got out of the car and walked towards the house. He rang the bell, and a few seconds later, she opened the door and was shocked to see him here. She hurried to close the door, but Jungkook quickly pushed open the door and went inside. She looked really scared. Jungkook clenched his jaw and stepped towards her. Stop! He shouted, stepping back in fear. This voice, please leave my house, she pleaded. This is not Vian's voice. He looked carefully at her face and saw that the color of her eyes was also different. Vian's eyes were hazel, but her eyes are green. Jungkook realized that there was something he did not know. So he asked the question that had been bothering him since the moment he saw her in the club in those slutty clothes. Who are you? I am. Speak up. Jungkook gave her a harried look, one that said his patience was at the end. My name is Evelyn, she said, stuttering. You had plastic surgery, haven't you? Jungkook was looking at her facial features. I will tell you everything, but promise me first that you will not do anything to me. She spoke almost in a weeping tone. Tell me everything. Jungkook said. His temper was rising by the second. I work for Mr. Martin. He told me a few months ago to have plastic surgery to get a face like your wife's. At first, I refused, but then he offered me a lot of money. In the lure of money, I underwent plastic surgery. With the help of some of your bodyguards, I broke into your house with one of Mr. Martin's men and they stole your important papers because Mr. Martin had told me to do so. He then made a deal with Albert to destroy you. He told me to dress like Ryan and act like I have a relationship with Albert. We also used voice cloning software. Kevin smiled and walked towards them. Jimin was still standing, Jungkook's body still. He felt as if the soul had left his body. His wife was innocent, and he kept calling her a hoe. Please leave me. She fell to her knees and clasped her hands. Jungkook's body was trembling with anger. He wanted to kill all the people who had trapped his wife. The beast inside him was ready to show his brutality, so Jungkook did what the demon inside his head told him to do. He took off his belt and started walking towards her. She thought he needed her, so she got excited. But the next moment, Jungkook wrapped the belt around her neck and started squeezing her neck. She was stretching her arms and legs, which made Jungkook more satisfied, and he tightened his grip even more, his eyes protruding from his muscular arms. Jungkook was not showing her any mercy because she has also trapped his wife, but he was more angry with himself for not trusting his wife. Soon he felt her body still. He let go of his belt, which was still wrapped around her neck, and stood up. He was breathing hard and looking down at the hand with which he had shot his wife. Tears welled up in his eyes without warning. Suddenly, the sound of applause echoed through the house. He turned around and saw Blake coming in while clapping his hands. It's the first time you have done for your father in your life. I came here to finish her, but my son has already done it. He said proudly and went to the sofa and sat on it. His guards were standing with him. If only I had gun in my hand, I would have blown his brain with my bullets. Jungkook's trembling body was proof of how furious he was at the moment. I told you one day I would tell you why I killed your mother. Today's the day I am going to tell you everything. Blake put his one leg on the other knee. About 30 years ago, our parents arranged a marriage. It was an arranged marriage. I was a small teenager who loved going to clubs and partying all night. I never respected any woman. I just used them for my sexual need. I did not believe in love. For me, love was just a bullshit. But after marrying your mother, everything changed. Your mom made me feel new emotions. You will not believe it, but I started working from home because I wanted to spend more time with her. Remembering those moments, a small smile appeared on Blake's face. 2 years later, she gave birth to you. I was in cloud nine when I first picked you up. I named you Jungkook Martin. Only my wife and my son became my first priority in my life. I gave her everything she wanted. But when you were 8 years old, then everything started to change. She started behaving strangely towards me and started distancing herself from me. A look of sadness appeared on Blake's face. Jungkook did not even look at him. He was just standing there looking at the empty space. But his ears were listening to every word of Blake. One day, a woman came to my office and claimed that I was the father of her son. I will not deny that. I did not have sex with her. Yes, I had sex with her, but only before marriage.
After marriage, I never thought of any other woman. Blake looked at Jungkook's face for any reaction, but found nothing. Anyway, he took a deep breath and continued talking. I took her son to the hospital for a DNA test. The doctor did the test, and you know what the report said? Blake checked out sadly and looked at Jungkook, who was not even looking at him. Report said I was sterile. Jungkook snapped his head towards Blake, his eyes wide open. That's exactly how I reacted after reading the report. Blake said, referring to Jungkook's expression. I wonder how I became a father if I was sterile. Jungkook understood that his mother must have had a affair with someone. His mouth snapped shut and shame filled his eyes. A few days passed, but I did not talk to your mother about it. But on your birthday, I was working in my office and waiting for the evening to come so I could celebrate your birthday. When my assistant came to my office with an envelope, I opened the envelope and found the pictures and video exactly as you had of your wife a few days earlier. Blake's tremor suddenly changed. He clenched his fist while his eyes were burning with hatred. In that video, she was with my enemy and was planning to kill me. I checked those pictures and video and found out that everything was real. Those pictures and video infuriated me, and I went to that bastard. I asked him if he had an affair with my wife. He told me that they had been together before our marriage, and also told me that the child means you are his son. Black looked at Jungkook and pressed the word you. I wanted to kill that bastard at that moment, but because of his power, I could not take such a step. I swore that that I would kill him mercilessly. Then I went home, where Ho was waiting for me. Jungkook clenched his fist when Blake called his mother a hoe. I stepped up without thinking and kept stabbing her until I was satisfied. After killing her, I looked at you and I saw your bastard father in you. So I tried to kill you, but a butler saved you from me and took you to your uncle's house. After a few years, as I swore, I brutally killed your father. And the reason I always wanted to kill you is also your parents. I don't want their illegitimate child in this world. And yeah, I forgot to tell you something funny. Black chuckled, recalling the past event. Your mother used to tell me that you have inherited my traits. He said, chuckling, and stood up. He approached Jungkook and stood in front of him. Do you know why I did all this drama and trapped your wife? Blake asked, and Jungkook looked at him angrily with bloodshot eyes. Because if I had told you the reason for killing your mother before, you would have said that I should have given her a second chance, or you might have said that you could have punished her. But killing her was not the only option. That's why I create the same situation so you can understand how I was feeling when I decided to kill your mother. I went to your father to make sure, but you did not go to Albert. You need a big heart to ask your enemy if he has an affair with your wife, and I did it. I did it because I really loved your mother, and I went to your father hoping to hear no. Blake's eyes water. You always hated me because I killed my wife. What will you do about yourself now because you are also your wife's killer? Blake asked, tear welled up in Jungkook's eyes. Your wife was innocent, yet you killed her. You lost a pure soul. A tear escaped one eye and coursed down his cheeks unchecked. I told you that I would tell you everything before the moment your miserable life began. Blake leaned closer to Jungkook's ear and whispered, and your miserable lives began now. Jungkook entered his room. His room was feeling so empty without her. He was walking like a dead man. He stepped inside the room and turned on the lights. His eyes first went to the bed, and all the scene of the last 3 months started coming before his eyes, like how he slept in the same bed with her, how he made love with her in the same bed. His gaze fell on the dressing table, and he saw his condition. He went to the dressing table and stood in front of the mirror. Unknowingly, he saw a disgusted look at the man he was seeing in the mirror. Suddenly, his own words began to echo in his ear. I will show you what I do with hoes like you. He quickly covered his ear to stop the words. You are so pathetic. He shook his head in denial. You are a whore to me, whom I used to fuck every night. By now, he was clutching the side of his head. His own word felt poisonous to him. Girls like you are not worthy of love. No, he screamed and hit his fist on the mirror, breaking it into pieces. The blood started oozing out, but he was not feeling any pain at the moment. He was just angry, angry on himself. His blazing eye flew to the nightstand where Ryan's photo frame was placed. His face suddenly softened, and tears came into his eyes. He walked towards the bed, all the while stumbling and staggering. He picked up a photo frame of Ryan and sat down on the floor, leaning his back against the bed. His stomach was churning and his eyes burned with unshed tears. She was smiling heartily in the photo. He liked her smile a lot, but now he can never see her smile because he has sent her to a place where which he can never bring her back. His finger gently caressed her photo while tears coursed down his cheeks. He hates himself the most for not trusting her. He kept calling her a whore even though he knew he was the first. He had hurt her a lot that day. He even lost his baby, his own flesh. How badly he wanted a child with Ryan. But when God blessed him with this blessing, he killed the child with his own hand before he came into his world. Jungkook dashed the tear from his eyes with his shirt sleeve and suddenly stood up. He opened the nightstand drawer and pulled out a gun. I am coming to you, Ryan, my love. I can live without you, he said, looking at her photo frame and attached the tip of the gun to his temple. He closed his eyes and thought for the last time about Ryan's smiling face, which caused a smile to appear on his face. And he pulled the trigger, but the bullet hit the roof. He angrily looked at his hand, which was held by someone else. He gave a death glare to the man before pushing him away. Why are you here? Jungkook muttered through his clenched teeth. I was expecting a party, but what is this? You were about to kill yourself? Tayak said mockingly. Go away, Jungkook said and put the gun back on his temple. But Taeyang snatched the gun from his hand and threw it towards Jimin, who easily caught it. Are you crazy? Taeyang screamed, losing his temper. I will go crazy without her. Jungkook fell to his knees and began to cry. Taeyang looked at Jimin in confusion, who shrugged his shoulder. Jungkook held Bayan's photo frame to his chest. Jungkook, what happened? Taeyang asked softly, placing his hand on his shoulder. She was innocent. Blake did that all. Jungkook was sobbing and choking considerably. Taeyang was shocked to hear this and looked back at Jimin, who had the same expression on his face. I will kill myself. Jungkook stood up and tried to snatch the gun from Jimin, but Taeyang blocked his way by standing in front of him. Let me die. Jungkook shouted and tried to reach the gun, but the next moment the sound of slapped echoed through the room. Taeyang slapped Jungkook. Jungkook looked at Taeyang and tears flowed from his eyes, even though he did not want to. Taeyang hated what Jungkook had done to them all, but he still could not see him in the street, so he hugged him. Crying Jungkook, said Taeyang and looked at Jimin, who hid his tears and turned his face away. Taeyang, please bring her back. I will never hurt her. Jungkook pleaded, stepping back. His eyes were swollen and red. Listening to Jungkook's words, Taeyang suddenly remembered the words that Jungkook had said to him on his wedding day. Believe me, she will forget the word hurt from today onward. We can't bring her back. She is gone too far, said Taeyang. No, please, please bring her back. Jungkook's body was running out of energy due to excessive crying. If you can't bring her back, let me go to her. He tried to go to Jimin again, but Taeyang stopped him again, and Jimin could not see his friend in this condition, so he left the room. Stop it, Jungkook. Don't you want to avenge Ryan? Don't you want to kill those who trapped Ryan? Taeyang said, and Jungkook fell silent. Taeyang realized that he had hit the right nerve, so he continued talking. If you really love her, then kill that bastard who trapped her. Jungkook said nothing and sat quietly on the bed, staring down at the floor. Leave me alone. Jungkook whispered in a low voice. I can leave. I won't do anything. I just want to be alone. Jungkook cut him off. Taeyang sighed and looked at him uncertainly for a few seconds before leaving the room. As soon as Taeyang left, Jungkook brought a photo frame close to his lips and kissed a picture. Love, I promise you that I will not leave them. I will kill them all, and then, because I am also your sinner. He turned off the light and lay down on the side of the bed where Ryan had slept a few days earlier. He lay on his back and stared at the ceiling with his empty eyes. Ryan's photo frame was still firmly attached to his chest. His jaw trembled and he felt tears rising to his eyes. I'm sorry, my love, he whispered, but it was too late. Jasmine! Jasmine, who was opening her flower shop, jumped on her place and turned to see Kevin approaching her with an annoyed look on his face. God, you startled me, said Jasmine, placing her head on her chest where her heart was pounding. Jasmine opened the door of the shop and entered inside. Kevin also entered the shop behind her. Grandma told me that you did not take your medicine again. Kevin said, following her. I'm tired of this medicine. I did not know why you always force me to take this bitter medicine. Jasmine went to the other side of the counter and put her bag on the chair. Because the doctor said it is important to take this medicine to recover quickly, right? Jasmine finished Kevin's sentence without looking back. Kevin sighed. Jasmine turned around, placed both her elbows on the counter, and bent her body forward. You have been telling me this for a year, and I still don't know what's left in my body to heal. She said, looking down at herself and then at Kevin. Jasmine, please don't trouble me. And Kevin put the water bottle on the counter. Take this medicine, he said, moving his palm close to Jasmine, on which the pill was placed. You have come here fully prepared, said Jasmine, looking at the water bottle and pill on his palm. Kevin rolled his eyes. It's just because of you that now I get into the habit of walking around with water bottle in my car and medicine in my pocket. Kevin pulled a bottle of medicine out of his pocket and said as if he was complaining. Jasmine chuckled and took the pill from his palm. She opened the lid of the water bottle and placed the pill on her tongue. She took a sip of water and swallowed the pill. I took the medicine. Now give me my reward, she said, placing the water bottle on the counter. Kevin looked around and then pulled a flower out of the bucket and forwarded it towards Jasmine. Here's your reward, he said, rounding a charming smile on his face. Jasmine furrowed her eyebrow and slapped his hand. She snatched the flower from his hand and put it back in its place. Just look at your audacity. You are giving me flour from my own shop. Kevin chuckled to himself. Why should I go and waste money buying flowers from another store when my own fiance has a flower shop? Kevin gave her a playful wink. Kevin, divine, you know exactly what I want, said Jasmine. Yeah, that crappy romance novel whose name I don't remember. Kevin teased, making a thinking face as if trying to remember a name. Kevin, you know the name of that novel, and you will bring it tonight. I can't spend money on that novel because Grandma will swallow me alive. But if Grandma caught you reading that novel, I'm sure she would make my flesh black and blue like last time. Kevin said and gave Jasmine an annoyed look that made her chuckle. I promise I won't get caught. Jasmine swore and Kevin again rolled his eyes. That's what she said last time, he murmured to himself. Pretty please. Jasmine blinked her eyes several times. See, no, only her two eyes are his weak point. Kevin let out a sigh. I will bring it, but promise me you won't speak your medicine. Jasmine made a skull face as she listened to his. Okay, fine. Jasmine said in frustration. Okay, now I'm going to the office. See you tonight. He gestured for her to come closer. Jasmine gave him a warm smile before moving her face closer to him. Kevin kissed her lovingly on the cheek and then walked out of the store while waving her goodbye. Kevin's point of view. It has been 22 months since I brought Ryan with me to Australia. We live in Sydney, a city in Australia. Taeyang once contacted me and told me that Ryan was innocent, and Jungkook found out about it the night I flew with Ryan to Australia. Ryan woke up from the coma after 7 months. She did not remember anything. She felt uncomfortable with me. I told her I was her childhood friend, but she still kept quiet. Then I asked my grandmother for help. I told her everything that happened to Ryan and told my grandmother to pretend to be her grandmother so she could relax and maybe talk to her. And that's exactly what happened. She started to feel comfortable around grandmother and started talking to us. Ryan asked us why she did not remember anything, and we told her she had an accident which caused her go to into a coma and lost her memory due to a head injury. I gave her a new identity, a new place, and a new life. She is no longer Joy Ryan. She is now Jasmine Brown. After spending some time with her, I realized that Jungkook had lost a diamond. He has hurt his pure soul. Grandma also liked her and asked me to marry her. I wanted to propose her, but Jungkook's thought always stopped me. But then one day, I came to the conclusion that I would marry her. No one can take her away from me, not even Jungkook. I will fight for my love till my last breath. I told my grandmother that I love Jasmine. At first, my grandmother punched me hard on the face because I said the word love in front of her. She hated the word love because love is just a trouble for her. She faced many problems because of love. Her boyfriend left her when she was pregnant with my father. My grandmother raised my father alone and ran a flower shop to fill their bellies. My father grew up and fell in love with a girl. My father left my grandmother and married my mother. One day, my mother accidentally killed my father during their quarrel. My father died and my mother was sent to prison. At that time, my grandmother took my custody and raised me. She still does not know that I work for the mafia. I left everything and started a new life just like Jasmine. I work as an employee in a business company. I got engaged to Jasmine 2 months ago, and I am still worried because the doctor told me that if she stopped taking the medicine, she would get her memory back soon. I don't want her memory to come back because of her past will only hurt her. Sometimes I think about Jungkook that how he's living his life knowing that he killed his innocent wife just because of a stupid misunderstanding. A man is standing in front of a canvas, sketching his wife. No one can tell by looking at him that he is the same Jeon Jungkook from the 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he had everything, and today he feels like he has nothing. He has the same wealth and fame that he had 2 years ago, but he does not have the peace of mind that he had with Vayan. After that night, when he found out that Vayan was innocent, he shut himself off from the world. Nowadays, people rarely see him. He spends most of his time in his room painting, drinking, and smoking. He can't sleep at night. His mental health has deteriorated. Sometimes he feels as if the walls of his rooms are also laughing at his misery. Like killing Ryan, he has also killed his peace. Jungkook's cell phone is playing soft violin music that Ryan used to play for him. This soft melody is reaching every corner of the room. As soon as this music falls on Jungkook's ear, he gets a sense of relief, as if it were his favorite track. They both used to spend their free time playing the instruments. Jungkook loved playing the piano, and Ryan loved playing the violin. The music that was playing at the time was made by Ryan herself. His whole room is full of her paintings. There are only Ryan painting all around the walls of the room. His room looks mostly like an art room. The smell of alcohol and smoke pervades the room. It has been almost 2 years, but he has not come out of his grief yet. Everyone, including his friends, has left him. Taeyang and Jimin behave like professional businessmen around him. Jungkook knows it is all his fault for ruining his friends' lives. He wants to apologize, but he knows that his apologies won't make things better. He only wants to destroy the lives of Blake and Albert so that he can kill himself and free himself from this miserable life. He heard a knock on the door. Come in, Jungkook allowed it, still focusing on sketching his beautiful wife's face. He heard the sound of door opening and footsteps of someone coming in. Boss, according to your order, I have informed the police and I have just received the news that the Italian police have seized Albert's cocaine in the Mediterranean. His trusty man, Andrew, informed him. Hmm. Anything else? Jungkook asked Andrew without looking back. As you ordered us to find Mr. Taylor, Jungkook said, in which he was holding the brush stopped for a moment. With the brush in his hand, he turned around. Have you found him? Jungkook asked, a glimmer of hope in his voice. Yes, boss, we have found him. He said he knew everything about your father. He is on his deathbed right now, so we can't bring him here. The doctors say he has lung cancer and has only a few months left for him to live, said Andrew. Jungkook exhaled a breath, turned around, and started sketching Ryan's face again. I will go and meet him. Where's he now? Jungkook asked after a few seconds of silence between the two of them. Sydney. Andrew gave a short answer. I will go by my private jet, arrange everything for me in Sydney. Okay, boss. Andrew bowed his head respectfully and then left the room. Jungkook kept sketching her without realizing how his life was about to take an unexpected turn in Sydney.